They Not Like Us. Truth be told, I did not know that that was a Kendrick Lamar song. Had it not been for this ad, I would not have known that. That's how square I am. In this video, we're going to be reacting to the recent campaign ad for the Democrats, featuring Vice President Kamala Harris and actress Taraji P. Henson, who hosted the BET Awards, and I believe that this ad originally aired during the awards show. I did not watch the awards show. It's not my cup of tea. My older sister did say that she tried to watch it, but it was so bad that she could not get through the whole thing. So I don't think I missed anything worth seeing. And if you did watch that, most of what you see on there is not black culture. So I'm here to say why this ad is bad and ineffective for the Democrats. This is not how you get the black vote. So before we get started, I do ask that you please like the video, and you can leave some comments. You can tell me whether or not you watched the award show and what you thought of it. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Taraji,
Oh, hello, Madam Vice President.
I thought maybe you blocked my number. I mean, you can call Queen Latifah when she hosting her show. You didn't call me. I had to call you. Is it because I don't have Queen in front of my name?
No, Taraji. Now, you know I wouldn't do that, especially not to a fellow bison.
The real HU?
You know. So what's on your mind?
Oh, Madam VP Harris, I'm worried about the election. Women's reproductive rights are on the line. Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji. There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they're not like us.
They not.
Okay, out here in these streets, I'm not buying it. Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, if she were out here in these streets talking to regular people, such as myself and you, I don't think she would have released a phony ad like this, saying something so ridiculous that isn't true at all. But then again, it's all for show, right? They Not Like Us. Truth be told, I did not know that that was a Kendrick Lamar song. Had it not been for this ad, I would not have known that. That's how square I am. But at least I know enough not to go around saying something as crazy as that, to get people's attention and try to sway them into voting for me.
There's a full-on attack on our fundamental freedoms. The freedom to vote.
Yep.
The freedom to love who you love, the freedom to be safe from gun violence, the freedom for a woman to make decisions about her own body, not having her government tell her what to do.
They out here trying to take away Pride, Plan B, and Planned Parenthood, but protecting pistols. If you ask me, they pushing the wrong P's.
They want to turn back the clock on our hard-fought progress.
And now I know why the cage bird sings. Well, what can we do?
We will do what we have always done, fight for our freedoms. But here's the thing, we cannot fight alone. We need to get our families, our friends, co-workers, cousins, play cousins, aunties, and uncles, get all of them to register to vote.
I'm texting everybody I know right now to go to vote.gov to make sure they're registered.
That's why I've been so busy trying to make sure everyone is registered to vote and that they head to the ballot box on November 5th.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them, right? Well, I see you, Madam VP.
All right, Taraji, look, I'm gonna let you get back to the show. I'll see you later.
Wow, that ad has fake written all over it. Awful. So reproductive rights, huh? That's what we're concerned about this election cycle. Reproductive rights, aka abortions. For those of us who know our history, we know that Planned Parenthood was Margaret Sanger, who was a eugenicist. She was a pioneer of Planned Parenthood, and her goal was to exterminate black children, black fetuses. She thought that we were a burden on society, And when Roe v. Wade passed back in the early 70s, had it not been for that, our population would be double what it is today. It took me some time to come to terms with this, but I'm pro life. I'm not for abortions. Yes, there are exceptions. I do understand that. If the mother's health is at risk, if she's at risk of losing her life, then maybe it's necessary in that case. But the majority of abortions that are performed are because two people were irresponsible and it could have been avoided. And there are so many different options available, such as adoption, contraceptives. I'm pro life. And maybe some of you aren't, and that's okay, but that's how I feel. And voting rights, most of us have the right to vote. I don't understand why they're trying to make it seem like Black people, especially, are being prevented or in danger of our voting rights to be stripped away. That's not the case at all. They make such a big deal about voter ID. Truth be told, most of us have IDs. I have several IDs. I have no problem going to the voting booth to cast my ballot. It's not an issue for me at all. And I don't think it's an issue for many of us. What they're really trying to do, this is my theory, but I'm pretty sure it's true. They want to give illegals, the illegal migrants, the illegal immigrants, the right to vote. That's what this is most likely about. Because voting is only for citizens of the country, and that's how it should be. But they want to give them the right to vote because they've dished out so many benefits to them already. And in order for them to stay in power, they need a larger voting bloc. As of right now, the Democrats rely on the Black vote to win elections. But they've never done anything for us except give us symbolism or ask for our votes and pander to us when election time comes around. So I'm not buying it. I already know what their game is. They run the same playbook every election cycle. And she mentioned that our basic freedoms are at risk of being taken away. I wish she could have elaborated on that more. Which basic freedoms are we at risk of losing? Because as far as I know, I don't really know of any specifically. But a lot of these politicians, the Republicans included, but the Democrats do it more, especially to us. They use fear-mongering to control us, to sway us, to scare us into voting for them. And they tell us that the opposition is going to do this, is going to do that to us. That isn't always necessarily true. In most cases, it's an exaggeration. But there's a change taking place right now. Those of us who are age 55 and under know right away that this ad is phony, ineffective, and pathetic. I may not speak for everyone when I say this, but for those of us who are younger voters, especially younger Black voters, some of the top issues that matter to us are, number one, the economy. Right now, our economy stinks. It's in bad shape. Inflation is running rampant. Housing costs have skyrocketed. Food prices have increased over 20%, I think, within the last 3 to 4 years. But wages have pretty much remained stagnant. And some of you may disagree, but reparations, for those of us who are the descendant of slaves, foundational Black Americans, reparations is also a top issue. Both parties are against it, but this country has paid reparations to other groups who have endured far less harsh treatment than we have. Illegal immigration, which is hurting Americans, especially Black Americans. Our government is dropping them off, is opening the borders, the floodgates, and providing them with resources for breaking federal law. Why didn't Taraji P. Henson mention that to Kamala Harris? Isn't she in charge of the border? Isn't that her job? Well, if you ask me, she has done a terrible job of it. A lousy job. And sending money overseas instead of taking care of American citizens here at home. That's a problem. A lot of people are hurting right now. A lot of people are unemployed. They have trouble paying their bills or making ends meet. Meanwhile, our government is sending billions and billions of dollars to fund wars and sending it offshore and giving it to illegals breaking federal law. I'm not against immigration. If you go through the proper channels and if you want to become a US citizen, fine, that's great. But breaking federal law, no other country is going to allow that. But as of right now, our government here in the United States is allowing it. And whether or not Joe Biden's cognitive ability is sharp enough for him to last another 4 years. And I'm not a big supporter of Trump either, but these last 3 years have been quite bad, if you ask me. And the last presidential debate is definitely an indication that Biden needs to retire. But he says that he wants to remain in the race. He wants to continue running for president. I don't know if he's saying that, if that's truly how he feels, or if he even knows what he's saying, or if there are other people forcing him to stay in the race. I think that's elder abuse. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, but he needs to retire and live out the rest of his days with his family. And a lot of other Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run. They want him to drop out. And I think that's for good reason. He's unfit to be president. He's too old. And yes, Trump is older too, but cognitively, Trump can run circles around Biden. He still has all of his faculties. But with ads like this, what it says to me, how it makes me feel, it seems like the Democrats especially think that we're simple-minded and that we worship celebrities and entertainers. And they're the ones that we look to when deciding who to vote for. And that's not true at all. You notice that they do not use celebrities and entertainers with other groups in this way. But this is what they do to us every time. It's the same playbook that they're running. But it isn't working, not like it used to. Those of us who are younger and more politically aware are not falling for it. So I wonder how Taraji P. Henson is going to redeem herself from this awful ad. I didn't watch the award show, as I said before, but based on the clips that I saw of her hosting, she was loud, kind of talking at people, and I don't know. I didn't really like that part that I saw. But Taraji P. Henson, she was great in the movie Hidden Figures. If you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. I think you'd like it. So this strategy, using celebrities, pandering, that the Democrats mainly use to try to get black voters to vote for them, it may have worked with previous generations, but it's not going to work for us. You're going to have to come with something of substance, something that's tangible. The symbolism doesn't work for us. And I know there are some older people who are aware of this too and who feel this way. It's not just us younger people under 50 or 55. But what's great about today, we have access to more information and grassroots media than any time in history. We don't have to rely on corporate media to control the narrative of how we think. Because nowadays especially, they do not have the tendency to engage with real everyday people like you and me. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to like the video and please leave comments. I love reading your comments. Thank you. Our time is now. Let's change the world. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.